starting with, can you tell me something about yourself, like about or introduction about yourself?
So I'm from Bihar. I did my schooling till 10th in a convent school in Muzaffarpur. Then for 11th and 12th, I moved to DPS Vasant Kunj, where I was in a hostel. And I'm very passionate about studying law. I have interest in debating MUNs, and I have volunteered in a lot of NGOs. And I've been working as a market, like in a marketing agency for the past 2 years.
Okay, so you mentioned marketing agency. So what role do you have there?
So I joined there as an intern in 2024 January. So from 2024 January till 2025 December, I was just like a marketing intern, helping influencers to collaborate with brands to for like collaboration deals. But this year, from 2026 January, I've been promoted to a manager of like campaign manager.
Okay, so what functions does your campaign manager has except the point that you help people reach out to engagements and all?
Yeah, no. So what we do is basically we connect brands. For example, there are different brands like Lay's, Wendy's, or whatever promotional things they want to promote. So we bridge the gap between the influencers and the brands, and we are the bridge between those two, and we connect them. And whatever margin we like is between them, so we earn through that.
Okay, fine. What subjects did you had in 10 plus 2?
In
In 10 plus 2, your 12th grade.
in plus two, yeah. In plus two, I had business studies, economics, accountancy, English, fashion studies, as well as graphics.
Okay, so I see you have been from a background of management and marketing. So why do
Yeah.
you have an interest in law as such? Except from the fact that you have been part in MUNs, what other thing you think what is more appropriate for you to opt for this course?
The reason why even though I'm from a commerce background, I still want to get into a law is I want to like I have been clear in my mind that most probably I'll be going into corporate law. So coming from a commerce background and business and everything, so it will give me a strong foundation for corporate sector.
Okay, what percentage did you get in 10 plus 2?
In plus two, I think I got around 87%.
Okay. So we in the rather interview they would be asking a lot of about your own course as such, whatever you have studied previously. Okay. I am from a humanities background, so I don't have much questions towards your stream, but
Yeah.
prepare your 10 plus 2 subjects very carefully. Okay, all those business aspects, business models, so that
Okay.
it helps you. And most of your faculty that would be taking interview would be PGP faculty or management faculty, so make
Okay.
sure you have your management subject strong.
Okay.
Okay, so now what did you read something very new or very recent in law that interests you? Any
In
recent
law.
news in law? Yeah.
Oh, the euthanasia one.
Euthanasia one. What do you think? What are your thoughts about it?
See, my thoughts about it is like it depends on person to person. Like, I think everyone should be given the choice because obviously, in a country like India, we call it a democracy and like everyone has the right. So, I think it should be legalized, but then it should depend on from people to people if they want to continue with it or not.
Okay, any recent case or news that you got to know?
About like any law or like the
Yeah,
news in
law
general.
related. Law related.
Law related as such. Of this year, I can't recall, but like when I was preparing for Cladden, there was a lot of it. For example, the in Delhi, the stray dogs one, and the
They got a news recently. new news recently for the dog stray, whatever you are mentioning.
Yeah.
They got a news recently. Supreme Court released a news. So, do
Yeah.
you have any idea about that?
I think it's about like they will be like they will be collecting the dogs, and then they will be like sanitizing the area and all of that, and then again they will be returning the dogs back.
Okay. Also, I read your CV and whatever you have filled in your IM portal. It
Yeah.
had a lot of things regarding sports. What can you tell me about that?
No, I did not have like a lot of about sports. I
Sports
too.
skipping and something, right?
Yeah, I have like honestly, I'm not very active in sports, but I did like this summer camp sort of thing in like one rope skipping, and once I just participated in a badminton tournament.
Okay. Can you name the sports minister of the country?
The sports minister of the country. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Okay. So, what do you think about the what do you consider the Indian constitution as? A very rigid constitution or a flexible constitution? What side would you put on the constitution on?
See, I wouldn't call Indian constitution a very rigid one, because obviously it's flexible. But the thing is, it depends on the policy makers, and especially the government, how they are trying to manipulate it or use it, depending on that. But our constitution is actually very flexible, and it has given us a lot of rights, and it has given us a lot of privileges, and especially to the marginalized community. It has never made any community feel like differentiated, or like they just gave everyone the equal opportunity, equal rights. But time to time, times are changing, so people like government is trying to change and interfere into it, and then now it depends like how things are happening.
Okay. Do you have any idea of I am Rohtak, like how curriculum is here and what all you have seen on the website, or you have some idea?
Yeah, I have a bit of an idea that they have 3 semesters, and like it's a 5-year course. And because you in usual colleges they have like 2 semesters, but they in IIM Rohtak they have 3 semesters. And we have to live on campus, and it's like both, like it's just not just law, but it has management opportunities as well, so that even in future if I want to do MBA I can do that, because obviously the BBA degree. And so yeah, it just gives us a very good opportunity to grow in both the sectors.
Okay. Tell me two reasons why do you prefer this university? Why should what interests you in this university specifically?
What interests me in this university is obviously, firstly, not to trying to sound cliche or anything, the I am tag. Everyone wants that.
Yeah.
And apart from that, it's just not like, if I'm not just going by the tag or anything, it has great opportunities because it combines management with the law, which I have been personally very interested in. I chose commerce for a reason. I have been debating, I've been working with NGOs, plus I've also been associated with a media agency. So like I feel like it's something which I would like to continue doing, and I feel like that's my strength, that people managing as well as doing it empathetically, like you know so that's why I think I am. And they also have like good placement opportunities, of course. I've seen on LinkedIn about, like, I have seen the people from I am Rohtak posting their like internship opportunities and all. They have been placed in Unilever, PwC, and many other good internship opportunities. So yeah, that's why.
Okay, so what if I tell you the reality of I am Rohtak and I say that you have to work it out for your internships? Nobody give you internships here.
Okay.
What would be your reaction to it?
Is that actually the truth?
Just tell me first your thoughts upon it.
I feel like even if they don't give me like the opportunity, like they don't directly place me into like a corporate organization like PwC, EY, whatever it is, but I feel like because of their curriculum, they would like, teach me so well or prepare me so well, because the teachers there, the faculty there is amazing. So I think I'll be self-sufficient and like polished enough so that I can crack the interview or whatever the selection process it is. I would be able to at least crack it because of the academic the how they have prepared me academically.
Okay, so okay, done. Also, a tip. Yeah, we do not give as such. We do have a placement com, and also this time they are. By the time you enter, there will be more opportunities. But as such, we do not give interviews randomly for companies. You gotta earn it yourself. You gotta send CVs and everything. Okay,
Yeah.
so just a heads up,
Hmm.
there's nobody who's gonna be like कि लो आपके plate में हमने interview रख दिया है.
Yeah,
So a little works you obviously you're gonna do, but yeah, the placement committee is ready to help. I did last month's internship from the placecom only. So yeah,
okay.
okay. Now we can go for, what do you see yourself after being, after whatever this BBA LLB program you did from IIM Rohtak?
Yeah.
What would you bring to Rohtak as an institute? What reputation, if you are going out in the corporate world, as you said that,
Yeah.
how would you see yourself in the corporate world that people would see and be like, yes, I want to join that program? What do you think would your repo be?
My repo for I would firstly, I would be giving my 110%. I know it's a very cliche thing to say, but you have seen my CV, and I have managed a lot of internships along with my school, and which was not easy. I used to be the MUN kid, so I used like every other week a debate competition or an MUN was coming up, but I never let my studies affect that. So I was basically managing both of it together. I was working in NGOs. I have been associated with a media agency for the past 2 years, and I've been managing all of it like all together, and thank god I've been excelling at it. So yeah, I think the my ability to work on different things together at a time and like not letting it affect me is some and so that will, I think, that is what I would like to that's what I would bring to the table, and I am Rohtak.
Okay, okay, okay. All the next few questions would be more like personality based. Okay, and also I need a thing. Do you have you read law? Somewhat of law. Do you have any knowledge of law? Basic knowledge of law. Do you have, right?
Yeah, basic, like very basic, because my subjects weren't really like.
Exactly. That is why I'm
Yeah.
asking. So if you're joining a program, do you have a basic understanding of law or
Yeah, I do.
okay? What was your CLAT rank? If you gave CLAT,
Yeah, I did
which
give
you
CLAT.
did.
Yeah, my CLAT rank, like EWS rank or general rank.
Both of them, you can tell me.
My EWS rank was, I think, 1700, 1800 something, and my my normal general CLAT rank was around 19,000 or something. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay, so basically, if the program is very stringent and very hardworking as such, because it's a trimester system, you would have 8 to 7 subjects. You would have to work a lot, and you would not get time for preparation of subjects or something like that. So, tell me, how would you handle pressure and conflict of hostels and whatever personal conflicts you have, whatever personal conflicts, because there are going to be conflicts. So, how would you handle both of them?
Um, Again, I have already lived in a hostel for 2 years. I have the prior experience when after 10th, I was in a boarding school for my 11th and 12th. And yeah, obviously at that time also, I did have personal conflict because new place, new thing. And like as a 16-year-old child, it was not easy. But obviously, you learn with time. I did learn with time. And I feel like that experience and man, in DPS, very silly to compare it with IM, but like in DPS also we used to have Monday tests every Monday. So and even though like I used to go for competitions on the weekend or some, I used to be the host in a lot of seminars or all those things. So I there were times when the entire weekend I was busy doing it, and like I used to get free around like in the evening, and then still I used to sit on the Monday test. So I built for that a bit, and along with that I was doing other things as well.
Okay, right. So you talked about skipping your badminton, your MUN. Also, tell me about other extracurriculum experiences that you have, if any. Do you have?
More extracurricular activities. Yeah, when I was a child I did participate in like a lot of fancy dress competitions, and I also won a science experiment competition in ninth grade in my school. I also participated in this ISRO level science. It was like a competition. I also participated in that, and I've been really interested in painting and all.
Okay, fine. Now you mentioned your NGO internships, right? How many NGOs you have worked in?
I've worked with Umeed, I have worked with Muskurahat, I have worked with the Humanity for a year. I have worked with this medical volunteer internship. I have worked with Project I Am Enough. I think I've worked with 5 or 6 NGOs.
Okay, and you have done MUNs also, right?
Yeah.
So, how do they prepare you for this law course if you're coming here?
Like the NGOs or the MUNs?
Both of them combined. You can give a separate answer for each or a
Yeah.
combined answer.
So because I come from a background, because I feel like law is also more like a lot about empathy and understanding people and connecting with people, because at the end of the day it's about like along with laws it's about understanding people and helping people and making their lives better. So when I was in NGO, when I like I've been working in NGOs since I was in 7th or 8th grade, so I was very young at that time. And especially when I worked in the Humanity for a year, I used to go there and like teach underprivileged children every weekend. So it did teach me a lot about connecting with people and understanding their problems and like trying to make their lives better. And with my MUNs and debates, it gave me a voice, like whatever you are thinking you can just like convey it and keep your points across the room, and then there will be people who will actually listen to it. And like as a 17, 18-year-old, you can't obviously go out of your way to do things, but these small steps is something which you can always take to even if not to create like a big change, you can just do whatever you can at your own capability rather than just sitting in your home and chilling.
Okay, so done. Okay, so now we'll move forward with a little bit of law questions, because in your normal interview there are also going to be an aspect of academic questions and law questions. I'm not going to ask academic because I'm not from the same stream as yours.
Yeah.
So prepare that points well, whatever management subjects you have, and they will make you solve also. If you had accounts or any solvable
Yeah.
things you have, they will also ask all those questions they might give you to solve, because it
I
would be,
was terrible at accounts. I barely managed to pass. I can't do accounts. Oh my god.
they might give you, they might
Okay.
not give you. Okay, so at
Okay.
least prepare the basics well.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Okay, so now starting forward with the law questions, what
Yeah.
do you think are fundamental rights?
Fundamental rights are the basic right given to like every citizen, like their ability to live, the freedom of speech, freedom of thought, freedom of expression, freedom to practice any religion they want without anyone forcing them into anything.
Okay, so do you think fundamental rights are given to non-citizens also? Any visitor to India, any foreigner to India, do you think they also have that fundamental right?
Every citizen does have like a fundamental right, because obviously will like fundamental right means the their freedom to live, freedom to express themselves. Obviously if someone is coming here, they do have that, but obviously legally if something happens, that will just get into a different sort of procedure, because like their country would be more responsible than our country, because obviously if anything is happening to them in our country, we would be responsible, but then if like they have to like legally represent them.
Okay. Also, if you are been asked a short question, answer it in a short manner. Okay. Just like how I asked this question, just answer it in yes or no and one liner. Okay.
Okay.
Don't overly explain yourself because they won't listen half of the things.
Okay.
A fact. Okay. Okay. What are the fundamental rights? Any two you can with the article.
I think Article 14. I don't remember honestly because I've never studied. I think Article 21 and Article 14.
Okay. Okay, so you numbered the article correctly. What does 14 and 21 say? Can you explain? Just one
I
line you can give both for one.
yeah, I think I might be wrong honestly, and this is a mock interview, so I'm being a little casual. But I think Article 21 is the right to live, and Article 14 is equality before law or something like that.
Okay. ठीक है. Okay, what a little brief law questions only. ठीक है. What do you how would you differentiate civil law and criminal law?
Oh, the difference between civil law and criminal law. Criminal law is something which deals with, criminal matters as such as like someone like murders, rape, and all of that. Whereas civil law is something which deals with property and like property disputes and land disputes.
Okay. So what is PIL if you know?
PIL is that appeal thing which you do, like when I think like when you apply to about your like court in court, you apply about like something, and then if it gets rejected, then you can reapply for like a PIL, so that like there can be like bench can sit again and like review it.
Okay. Do you know the full form of PIL? Do you know the full form of PIL?
Petition something, I think.
Okay. Fine. Also, we are almost across like 50% of the interview, more than 50%. There would be a 5 minute speaking thing that you would get on the spot for a topic. So I am giving you a topic and you have 1 minute to think about it, write on a piece of
Okay.
paper, whatever you have
Okay.
thoughts about it for 1 minute, and
Okay.
then you're gonna speak about it for like 5 minutes, 4 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
Do you know something about death penalty?
Death penalty.
Yeah.
Like a bit.
Okay. What about voting age? Voting age controversy.
What controversy?
Voting age controversy.
I have no idea. I'm so sorry.
Okay. Okay, so your topic for the day is why should we empower more women in judiciary and
Okay.
why are there less female advocates in high courts and supreme courts? You have 1 minute till 29 and then we'll start with the 5 minute speech, okay?
Okay. Like women empowerment in judiciary as and
And why are there less women advocates?
okay.
Can we start? Have you noted down
Just
few?
a, just a minute. Hmm.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, you can start. You can exceed till 5 minutes, not more than that. Okay, minimum three and exceed till five.
Okay.
Okay, start.
So the reason why there are very less women in judiciary and especially in like a higher courts in India is because we all know education for women has been like very difficult because of the educational disparities. It was very difficult in the earlier times for women to be educated. Now slowly times are changing and women are getting educated, and especially in profession like law there are a lot of professional restriction, and especially like family pressure, and everyone knows that law is a very male dominated field. It's like not a hidden thing, everyone knows that. And especially in a place, in a sector which is this rigorously male dominated, it's very difficult for women to make their own place. And apart from that, gender challenges are also there. There are like workplace harassment issues, and women don't feel safe. And there are a lot of women who do have a lot of great potential, but sometimes families are scared, families are not okay with it. Families think it's not safe for their daughters or their sisters to go into court and deal with policemen because of the mentality that they used to carry. And a lot of people also think that law is just all about the litigation side, they're not aware about the corporate side as well. But yeah, talking about judiciary and the high court part, yes, obviously, now slowly times are changing, women are getting educated, they are making their place, but still there is a huge gap which would still take a lot of years to get filled. But the thing is, one more reason why they are not that largely represented, especially in the judiciary, is because of the smaller pool of that. Like, because judiciary requires experience, and you know how family reacts when it comes to girls. So a lot of family pressure, and their women are pressured into getting married and starting their own families. So, and it requires, and especially now, since like they have this rule of having certain years of experience to sit for the judiciary exam, so obviously it gets difficult for women. And because of how the patriarchal society this is, it's just been expected from a woman to not always prioritize their career in front of their family, so it does get tough.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. So, last three questions I would be asking. It is from your information that you filled on the portal itself. Okay. So you mentioned in the hobby section that you like reading about law or international relations, right?
Yeah.
Tell me one book or article that you read in Hindu economics or in any book in general that you interest that had international relations or law about in it.
I wouldn't say about like international relation, but I was recently reading this biography of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and it really did tell a lot about the disparity between the marginalized community, like the SCSTs and the upper caste, and that was a very good book to read. And about like the national issue, there is this book called The Train to Pakistan by Khushwant Singh. It is also a very good read to talk about the times of independence and how the geopolitics was.
Okay. So you didn't mention the name of the B.R. Ambedkar book or whatever it was. Do you recall the book a name as such?
It was I can't remember the name, but it was something called,
Okay.
yeah, I can't remember.
Shift to the yeah. So you also mentioned you enjoyed social issues and you have worked in NGOs also, women centric narratives also.
Yeah.
So can you name one women centric movie that you have recently watched or you just know about?
Yeah, there are a lot of women centric movies. Recently, I watched a series, not a movie, but a series called Chiraiya. It was about marital rape, and it was a very beautiful series.
Do you think marital rape is an offense under the Indian law?
It is not yet, unfortunately, it's not, but I think it should be 110%.
Why do you think that?
Because that's the reality, because consent does matter. No, even if you are married to someone, you need to ask for consent every single day, because a woman is not your property. Just because you married that person doesn't mean you own them. You need to respect them, and their consent and their ability to say yes does matter every single time. Yeah.
But what if they say what the movie also made a point that what if the vows that people take during the seven steps along the holy fire of mind, body, and soul. How would you explain yourself to that extent when you already gave your consent for mind, body, and soul? The consent, the vow of contract does create your obligation towards your husband for body also when the three counts. So, how do you explain yourself towards that part of, you know, objection raised?
Yeah, I get that point, and especially like I know it might not sound very appropriate, but what I personally believe is religions are always a little male dominated. Like
Hmm.
religion has never helped women. The all the pressure has always been, and especially even marriage. It's just like women are expected to do things always, and why do they not ask men to, okay, tan man dhan se tum ho uske and all that? But like, it's they always put men in a position where they are bigger than the women, and they are, handling women, taking care of them instead of treating them with respect. And many, like, there are obviously good people out there, but then many people manipulate it in for their benefit, just like how we saw in that movie.
uh, who do you blame and how who do you want to be more supportive towards the aggrieved women who has faced all marital rape and all those things? Do you think women or men should be blamed or who should be more proactive in taking questions to the law or taking stand in the society?
Okay, so we can't judge just or we can't put the entire pressure on one gender, whether they are like male or female. But obviously, a lot of it comes from the women, because, as it's already told, like, even who raises a boy, even in, like, as we are talking about the series Chiraiya, that the bhabhi of that guy, he was the one who raised him, and then she used to say like it's her fault that she always used to keep him, put him on a pedestal for that. So obviously a lot of responsibility comes from the mother's side of how they are doing upbringing of their children, and they, if they are educating them enough about the topic. So yeah, like I feel like women should obviously be more supportive, because at the end of the day we have to be each other's backbone. But yeah.
Okay. So that is it for the interview part. Okay.